crew goes to space on purpose this week on Hapless Heroes.
I had the feeling that it was like a J, but I just got wrong J, you know?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I will be your host and DM for tonight's adventure. Before we get into the meat of this adventure, I'm going to introduce my cast, starting on my virtual left with Dave playing March.
Hey, how's it going?
Seb playing Choom Deloom.
Morning.
Lewis playing Lev Zangiv.
Good morning.
Mike playing Brunner Brew Blitzbor.
Let's get the show on the road or in space or wherever we're going.
John is Jam Jam.
Jam Jam wants better boomstick.
And Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
Okay, I'm almost done this seating chart.
When we last left off, you guys had kind of taken the day to do some final preparations before this mission. You filled in Percival about like kind of what's going on. He offered some assistance in the way of, maybe providing some non-lethal ammunition for the newly acquired firearms you have, as well as, he talked on the phone to Father Jack Hayes and confirmed at least for you that Proxy does work for the flotilla, but he is a rather mysterious individual. Not a lot of information is really out there about the guy that is publicly known or known by Father Hayes. We ended the night at the Blag and Flagon, not walking distance from your place, and we're gonna start the day as the adventure begins. Now, Jam Jam, you were told your contact was going to be dropping some things off for Choom at about 5 a.m. However, let's see if anyone actually gets up at 5 a.m. All of you who were drinking last night, so that would be the exception of Brew and Glorp. I need all of you to make Constitution checks, please. Saving throws, actually.
On the way back, could we have said that Jam Jam had requested that Percy take a look at his weapons at some point in the night?
Sure. Do what exactly?
Try to just make sure they're clean and functional and not going to backfire
absolutely.
or jam.
Yes. He would inspect all of that and make sure that they are in at least operating condition. He is capable of doing so. In fact, I will actually see exactly how capable by making a check silently.
Do I also have to roll because my Threat-Creen are sleepless, so I don't have to sleep.
Still have to rest.
He's a
It's like a meditation. What do you
Sure.
do? You want me to roll a Constitution for that? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, how well are you able
Okay.
to? How restful is this meditation?
Am I adding anything to it?
Constitution save. If you have a bonus to your saves.
I got a 16. This ain't my first day.
I got a 16.
Now, can I just ask why specifically we're rolling a Constitution check?
Just from it was a night of drinking.
To see if we wake up at 5 a.m.
I'm not like, this is not going to be a very difficult save. I'm just
I would
kinda
like
seeing
to
everyone's
just
condition.
clarify that one of the Dowar traits is that they can't get drunk on alcohol.
What? Is that exactly what it says in the document? I think I might have missed that when I scanned through that.
You're telling us now?
I love this. No, please.
Yep.
Could you please read the feature to the class, please?
I think I've watched you put down so many bottles.
I can explain why I would be drunk.
This might be the explanation now.
So it says, within their beaks are a pair of pointed fangs, yada, yada, yada. They are also immune to the intoxicating effects of alcohol, though sweet foods such as fruit and honey strangely have an effect on them similar to the alcohol on other creatures. So the reason you saw Jam Jam drunk previously was that he had slipped a lime or something like that.
It was the pineapple on the drink.
What a reveal. What a reveal.
And the margaritas, right. All of the sugar.
again, just a quick, another shout out to the designer of this custom race, Kieran Wright, because that is just chef's kiss. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm flabbergasted.
wonderful. So in that case, Jam, yes, you may abstain from the Constitution check today.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But I heard some 16s. I just didn't hear
Yeah.
March.
We got a 2 pair.
12 plus 0, so 12.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is not like you guys weren't like partying extra hard. This wasn't any sort of special intoxicants or anything like that. Like you guys are fine.
I also chose to participate since I was up super late doing lesson plans, but I rolled a 16, so I'm also
Okay,
safe.
that's all right. Yeah.
16s across the board. Yeah.
Seb, did you have a question? I
yes.
saw a hand up.
Oh, yes. What would I need to roll to affix the rubber bullets from these magazines to the outside of these flashbang grenades?
What would you need? Duct tape? I don't know. Like what?
I got that. I got tons of duct tape.
How would you? I mean, how would you like to affix?
Mechanics roll? Or mechanics tools roll?
Sure.
Hey.
I'm gonna regret this, but sure.
I think I get advantage on this.
Do you?
Hold on, I'm reading.
Do you?
Oh, no, I get my proficiency bonus.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
with
that
my
makes more
proficiency
sense.
bonus, that is a 16.
Sure. I mean, yeah, you
16!
successfully duct taped rubber bullets to the outside of a grenade.
Yeah, it's combustible.
Flash
so
grenade.
This could work.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, then I will say that whoever, I guess, Choom, since you were the one who made the requisition, you are able to get up and we'll see right at 5 a.m., right? There's something that's been deposited into the mailbox. You saw you heard someone from the door, but by the time you got to the door, they're already gone. You can see in your mailbox, there are 2 of these sort of like unmarked. You can see like actually even like some of the information or like logos and things that have been scratched off of these devices. They look like no larger than like a small like cell phone.
Right.
Like maybe like old Blackberries almost, like just tiny.
There's only 2 in
just,
there?
like, flat. It's just 2. You said you asked for 2.
500 gold? No, I asked for 4.
And there's a note kind of like wrapped around them.
Okay. Well, this will have to do, I guess. He's not getting 500 gold for fucking. I'm gonna take him, put him in my.
For untraceable communication devices.
Yeah. Just, woo.
In under 8
in a leg.
hours.
In under 8 hours.
I'm in a leg out here. I'm in a leg. So, yeah, I would have explained my plan to everyone at this point.
So what is your plan? No, you explain your plan to them.
You want me to do it?
And then
Yeah.
and then we can get into the contents of the note that is attached to these communications devices.
Hell yeah. So I'd be telling Brew and Glorp what I had been telling everyone last night. I just want to preface this with this is not plan A. In fact, I'm pretty sure Mark said it was like plan F or something. I don't know. But just in case, these guys aren't exactly on the up and up. And because our priority here is getting back to our home planet so that Lev can see his kids. This flotilla...
And bring them milk.
And bring them, yeah, of course, because they definitely are expecting that. I think that there might be better options out there with this information if we sell it to the right people to get back home. This points at floating junk raft might not be the best people to maybe get us back to where we want to go.
The raft may not be, but if you look again, the flotilla is this massive flying saucer. There are other ships in this fleet. Like there are better accommodations and better things waiting for those who are able to get into the good graces of the flotilla.
So we're gonna trust the people that literally drag around their own poor people town. Great.
And let them live there for free without really with very little intervention. As sort
Puts
of a
hand
last
out window
resort
that has no
for
glass in
anyone
it.
who has nowhere else to go. It's better than it's a better alternative than other things in this particular quote unquote galaxy. So It's you mean, and I'm only saying this as the DM. I'm not like Shum can have
Of
whatever
course.
opinions he wants.
Devil's advocate,
but
right?
right. Just putting that, just making sure that perspective is there.
But I'm just saying.
This may be the only option for people who may have been otherwise like displaced or don't have a home to go back to anymore.
That's very good of them. I'm just saying, are they our best chance? Do we trust them and only them? I just don't think we should give away our leverage without at least talking about it.
I mean, they are the only faction you've directly interacted with at this point.
Right. There's
You
so
only
many
know
things we
you
don't
only
know.
know of the other players in the game because you've been like taught that after spending time here, but you had never interacted with anybody who is like from there necessarily.
Well,
at least so far.
Are you asking that to the group?
Yes, everyone. House meeting.
I would say it is only opportunity that has presented itself. Otherwise, it has been our own two hands doing what we want to do to try to feebly get off this place, but no one else has come to us with anything. We are all feeling like dog in hot car right now, but this is our crowbar of freedom,
Yeah, I too try to get off with two hands, but I think that's beside the point here.
Oh my God.
Something that's being lost here. Like, okay. Like, yeah, the players in this game, but you understand what currency is currency. Goodwill is also currency, and having us be good to our word and, developing a little bit of reputation with these guys might not be the worst thing we've ever done.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it's a little-
what if we find somebody that's definitely not a vampire instead of maybe just not a vampire?
Valid point. Not because you're
That
the
would
one
be
that agreed with
preferable.
me.
I mean, listen, I never cared about a man's nocturnal habits before. As long as the check clears, what does it matter if he, wants to bite people for fun?
Jam
Don't
will
fucking
say
let him in the door.
it does seem like the flotilla would have at least an option. Jam has no intention of necessarily returning home. Jam likes it here. But there's not much option elsewhere that Jam can tell.
This is also probably the highest paying gig any of you have been offered thus far.
It's true.
Also.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it was 5. It was 5,000 because it wasn't enough for each of us.
It was definitely 10,000.
Right, 5,000 each. Right, yeah.
5,000
each.
Yeah. 5,000 each.
Sure, yeah, I'll let you think that. I think I do remember saying 5,000, but I'm pretty sure I said that was to,
Right, but
distribute among
can I just
yourselves.
bring up, I understand and I completely agree with you guys. March, you've been here the longest. You know the ins and outs. And we all see you with your clickety-clackety fancy computer stuff. How much do you think information that the flotilla wants could go on the black market? We're talking multitudes.
Listen, without knowing what this is, it could be anything. But I
Right.
would say to make this operation viable, it would have to be worth no less than 50,000. So, but understand, we're gonna make our 10,000, but the rest of it is gonna be in good reputation with the largest collection of ships in the galaxy. And we are trying to go somewhere you have to get in a ship.
This is the
That
largest
alone might
collection
be
of
worth
ships in the galaxy.
40,000 in opportunity cost for us.
That changes things. This galaxy needs help.
Well, largest collection of ships if you count, all of the derelict ones that have been fused to this. But there are other ancillary vessels, right, that fly
Right.
with the flotilla. We've just, I know that Dave really mentioned them, the major ships that kind of, make up the core of the flotilla. But there are other ships that are, sort of independently flying with the flotilla, and offering protection, in exchange for services and things like that, right? They kind of all are sort of part of this faction. We just haven't learned too much about them yet.
All right. You guys have been real good to me. And you don't complain when I leave little monkey paws all over the floor. So I'll do whatever you guys want to do.
The Glorp basically cleans those up anyways.
Yeah, I never thank you for that, Glorp. You deserve a medal, because I smell my feet.
I'm not saying we don't do it. I'm just saying we play it by ear and, try to be a little measured in how we make our decision here. But
I think it depends.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, no. We don't make that decision now. No.
I mean, to your point, Father Boomstick has never come and told us he is going to get us off rock, has he?
He got me a job at the fucking UP.
Right. He just
Yeah, he's
helped
getting
all of
us
you
a
find
job, and
work.
telling us to settle in.
Right.
About all
No,
it's about all the resources he's able to muster. At least he was able to
course.
find you gainful employment.
He is
He's a
able
good
to
guy,
find
but-
gainful employment, but he is not able to speak to my heart, and that is
Preach.
issue with vampire, who knows exactly what to say.
Well, I think it all depends on finding out what this information is. And I think it comes down to March. If we get up there, you think you'll be able to access it?
You were I would just remind you, you were expressly instructed
Yeah.
not to read the
I know.
contents of
Rules, rules.
whatever Project Q is. I'm just, again, just offering gentle reminders.
What if we see it in mirror, though? Is that like reading it if it is like
Hey.
reverse image, you know? He can't see it in
vampire wouldn't
anyways.
know.
That's exactly what... Yeah.
So smart, man. You're the smartest guy. Bro, okay, is everyone cool with that? At least seeing what we're dealing, what we're risking our lives for here. They gave us guns.
Now,
To protect yourselves
I
in
could
case something
say-
goes wrong.
can I get in and read it? Absolutely. Can I get and read it? Get in there and read it without anybody knowing I got in there and read it? It's a little harder, but I'll work on it because I think it's a noble goal, especially if we can have it both ways.
All right.
Jam will again speak up. If the if the hiring party knows we read it, and they very well may, we've lost everything we've tried to accomplish here. Quickly.
About 3/4 of it. I mean, the information's still the information, whether we know it or not.
Hopefully they let Jam keep his gun.
You might be able to buy all the guns you want if this works out the way,
If they're trying to take your guns, we got bigger problems. It's just a thought I got.
They gave Jam a gun.
They gave you 3.
Specifically for this purpose.
Three
Right.
of them, in fact, yeah.
All right.
Which, those of you who did pick firearms, make sure that you do count that, well, except for Choom, who disassembled or emptied those magazines and repurposed them. So I guess Jam, you do also, at least for your handguns, have
Okay.
2 magazines of non-lethal ammunition. We're going to use that essentially because you know how D&D allows you to rule like
Yep.
non-lethal attacks and things like that. Well, sometimes that's hard with firearms.
Yep.
So I'm providing an additional avenue for that to be possible, so that we're not just murder hoboing our way through the galaxy. There can be some actual choices here made between life and death based on the level of threat, or what is
Instead
coming
of
at
just
you, right?
kneecapping everyone.
Why do
That's
I
rather
see
gruesome.
Jam just walking through the hall, expressionless, just popping knee?
You may
Knee
still
height.
choose to. You may still choose to do those things. It's just that I'm giving you the option to do to make a different choice. That's all.
Same with the toes. I got 10 of those.
Oh, no. Oh,
I mean,
boy.
depending on, the anthropomorphic race.
Now, that's any of us with firearms, right?
Yes. So if you had chosen to be equipped with some, then you would Percival would have made sure to get you at least a couple magazines. That's about all he's able to kind of get together. You can see that he inspected everything. I rolled for that. Everything is everything is functionally usable. Unless y'all are fumbling, there's not going to be any sort of jams or other things, right? But there may be some misfires. We do have misfire rules for firearms. So, that it's maybe about an hour. It's time to go down to the docking bays. And I didn't say it out loud, but I'm just going to say you were instructed to go to docking bay 5. And what I also will say is that we kind of saw it a little bit in Jam's like reintroduction with his character at level 1. While the raft itself is a mostly lawless place, with the flotilla only stepping in extreme cases to preserve order, the docks are a different story. Like, these are regulated by the flotilla armed security forces. So there is a much more much more of a security presence when you do reach the docking bays. However, at docking bay 5, you can see that there is a human holding up a sign that just says Casa Concordia on it in front of the gates that lead into the where the ships would be landing. Kind of like when the chauffeurs when you get out from an airport, right? Someone is holding up a sign.
Yeah.
As we're walking towards the sign, Glorp has been looking troubled since the second half of the conversation back at the Casa Concordia, and then turns to the rest of the group and says,
Guys, I should probably let you know my excretion pores are on my feet. Someone else should really have been washing the floors.
Oh no.
Mortified.
I take solace
Like,
in the fact that no matter what came out of your feet, it's still cleaner than whatever it cleaned up from Chew.
Now, here in the docking bays, there are also automated cleaning robots. And also, Seb, I forgot to address, you had DM'd me something prior to this session about, using these communication devices that you received. You were going to leave one with Percival.
Yes.
I want to make sure I note that. Sorry. I kind of brushed past that because we were doing some more dialogue at the house. But there is still that note that you never read. I will just say maybe you've had a chance to read it as you're making your way to the docks. You explained Percival the plan. It does just say that, works best in same system. Results may vary based on distance. It is untraceable, as you asked.
Nice. I'd be testing it. Hello. I don't know how to. Hello.
There's a few moments you hear some fumbling, how do you even work this thing? I can hear him, but I don't even know how to speak. What am I supposed to? Hello?
All right, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That's very weird. It didn't even ring.
All right, Percy, I'm gonna need you to be on standby. If anything goes wrong, anything at all, you're gonna be our eyes and ears on the ground, okay?
You got it. This is I am so ready for this important mission.
Yeah,
I'm so
Percy,
glad I could be helpful.
Percy, remember, you're a hero. Click. All right. Where's our ride?
So you see the guy holding the sign?
I feel like it's slow motion walk towards the guy with the sign time.
Yeah, and he he does look you over, and this looks like it looks like maybe a human man about, I don't know, maybe in his mid to late 40s. He's got a little bit of a salt and pepper kind of hair going on, brown and gray sort of streaks, with a very well groomed mustache, and he just looks you over. Are you the folks from the Casa Concordia? Yes, I'm supposed to meet you here. You fit the description I was given.
Yes. Are you, Jeff?
The name's Mulligan.
Ah, yes. That is what we were told. Right?
Who are these people? These names?
Yes. Come with me. It's your ride's waiting. I've got the ship warmed up already. Should be a pretty smooth.
Is this the pilot?
Thank you,
yes.
Jeff.
My name is not Jeff. It is Mulligan.
Jeff Mulligan.
Yes.
Okay.
No, just no. Wait. I misspoke. Just Mulligan.
So you want us to call you by your last name?
Okay,
No,
that
just
is
call
wonderful.
Just call me Mulligan.
Okay.
I think he's saying his name is just Mulligan. Nice to meet you,
Just.
Just.
Oh, sorry.
hi,
My language
Just.
means something
I
else.
see. I had the feeling that it was like a J, but I just got wrong J.
Yeah.
And now, for
Is
some
that
reason
short-
in my brain, I associate Just and Jeff together.
Yeah, they're kind of
Just
similar.
and Joseph or something. I don't know.
Right. So, Just, you're the pilot?
Yeah, he mutters something to himself as he kind of leads you to the ship. Yes, I'm the pilot. Come with me. And
What
he
is
just
it-
kind of
Whatever you
nods at
say,
one of the
Jeff.
at one of the security officers, and they kind of just wave you guys forward. They actually wave you around the metal detectors.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Can I get an
Nice.
up down on this pilot? Is he does he seem like a man of courage?
He's wearing a flight suit. He's He's got. You could roll me an insight check, I
Yeah,
guess.
I would love that.
I'm gonna test him for courage.
That's a 12 dirty.
Okay, what I will say is that what you're able to infer, especially as you just kind of get a quick glance at his flight suit, is that there are a number of like medals and things pinned to it. However, it does strike you as a little odd that, like, you'd be having at least a moderately decorated pilot as your chauffeur on, like, what's effectively, as you're now approaching the docking bays, a small shuttle.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I'm not surprised.
The shuttle is rather small. I mean, it is not. I mean, you see other ships, in some of the other docking bays that you can kind of see from the distance, because a lot of this is kind of just open, with just like like a roof over. But again, because of air envelopes and things like that, like these are actually open right now in the current system you are in. Which, by the way, you can kind of see there's like a map as you're kind of passing around, and it does kind of show that right now the flotilla is currently within the Bevan Expanse, which is an unoccupied system in sort of the lower, I guess, half of this sector of space, this mapped sector of space. And you were told that you're going to the Marion cluster, which is based on the map you're looking at. It's a bit of a long way. It's kind of going. You may have to be going around some of the Astral Tech settled systems in order to get there, maybe quietly and safely. But as you're approaching, the pilot kind of asks, "So, have any of you had any extended travel in the astral sea before? Any of you any seasoned sailors, so to speak?"
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Good. What was the longest journey you've been on before?
It was at least 7 or 8 minutes.
15 for me.
Oh. Anyone else with any longer journeys? Now, Jam, you might be the only one who's been. I would say that maybe in your brief exposure to smuggling, you wouldn't have necessarily done a lot of travel in the astral sea. Your travel would have been more like, hey, we're in whatever system we're currently in. We're going to take advantage of that and kind of smuggle goods from within. So you've never really, outside of maybe your crashing experience, have not necessarily spent a ton of time out there either.
Even if he had, he wouldn't tell this guy. So
okay. Okay, well, there's something I need to tell you then as we kind of get in, and you can see that the ship. I mean, it's rather like it's kind of rectangular, right? It's got like you kind of see there's like a cockpit that's kind of visible from the front. You can see that these engines that kind of have fastened. They have these different crystals like fastened within them, and then there's like a docking bay with like a ramp that's been opened at the back, right? And it's like a symmetrical ship, little shuttle. And it's got like short wings as well, and some like again smaller maybe engines like just for kind of small adjustments in flight. And he said, and the pilot continues, and Mulligan continues, and he says, "Well, just so you know, this is going to be roughly a 3-week journey.
3 weeks.
However,
Did he tell us that before?
Time passes a bit differently in the astral sea. For example, I'm not sure if you noticed in the short journey you mentioned of 15 minutes. I don't think you would have even noticed at that point in time. But long journeys at sea, we don't need to eat. We don't need to sleep. Things work a little bit differently, and it may be a little bit jarring once we enter back into wild space, into real space, as they say. So I just want to prepare all of you for a bit of a journey. Just make sure that, I guess, while your body may not necessarily tell you that you are thirsty, let's just make sure we stay relatively hydrated on this journey so that our re-entry is not going to be so painful. We do need you in tip-top shape for this mission, I'm told. Anyways, on board. You can see the docking bay kind of goes up. There's like a small ladder that kind of enters into the ship. So you guys would have to climb in one at a time. And it opens up into just like a small just like a crew space. Like there's like bunks on like the far walls. You can see that there's like just too high. There is like a small table in the center, a couple screens and like computing devices, just as like for general information on the ship, so you can kind of access that wherever you are, especially from your quarters. And then another ladder and the ladder actually continues up again, and that's what goes into the like computers, like the operations room, and then the cockpit is just ahead of that. So very small. Like there's not a ton of space in here. In fact, like I don't even think everybody, if you were to all go upstairs into the operations room and cockpit, like you would, it's going to be, kind of cramped, right? Like there's only a handful of seats. Like this is not necessarily a ship that's meant to be carrying like a bunch of passengers, right? But it's been outfitted at least to have enough space for you guys to spread out and spread around. So all of you kind of find some comfortable seating, right? The pilot starts going through a bunch of pre-flight checks, but he does seal the door to the cabin. And you kind of just hear him start talking through the intercom system in the ship, and he just says, "All right, well, just strap in. We'll be getting moving shortly. It will be about a 3-week journey. I'll be back to check in once we're cruising. Strap in. It's gonna be a little bit bumpy at the start." And then it kind of just cuts off. Everybody strap in?
Of course. In the seat that's obviously meant for small people.
I haven't done this shit since I was a kid. I forgot how much I hate it.
Blorp, do you, because again, I know that the last time you were on a ship, you were not ever really strapped into anything. So I'm just kind of curious if you want to try something different this time around.
I didn't have the option last time. So yeah, provided there is like a seat with straps available, I will participate in the safety of strap usage.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say that 2 of you will need to be strapped in and seated downstairs. So I'm going to let all of you decide among yourselves who that's going to be.
Yeah, I'll go. I know I'm not wanted.
I'll be downstairs.
All right, March and Lev will be downstairs. The rest will be on the second level of the cockpit level. Okay. So there's a bit of a rumble as the ship. You can start hearing some of the announcements from just like you kind of hear it through the cabin door for those of you upstairs. From space traffic control, just kind of giving the sort of undocking procedures, walking through all the checks again, and then you can kind of hear some whirring and some like hissing as some of the other mechanics of the ship begin to engage, and you can feel it lift a little bit off of the platform. There is a gravity envelope being projected in the ship, so you do feel that pull kind of like towards the center plane of this of this ship. So like those of you on the second floor are still feeling like it's pulling down, like you're not being pulled to the ceiling, right? And the ship takes off. There is like a brief rumble, and then you kind of hear like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1, and then the ship just like hits. Like you feel this initial lurch of inertia as like the ship accelerates to cruising speed very quickly, and begins approaching the outer edges of this Bevan expanse, this wild space system.
Woo-ha!
And within I would say within about 10 minutes, you've exited now into the astral sea. Initially, like nothing feels different. It kind of feels very similar, like that kind of strange but kind of unremarkable feeling that you felt when y'all were first unintentionally launched into this place. But this would be your first time probably like in like a smaller vessel traveling through the astral sea. I mean, again, the flotilla would have moved systems, but it may have been imperceptible. It may not have been. It was not. They don't travel for that long of an of a time that you maybe had felt anything different. However, the journey begins, and after a few moments, and as things kind of start to regulate, the cabin door unlocks, and Mulligan comes back out, and he says, "Okay, well, let's get as cozy as we can. It's going to be a little while, but don't worry. It's after a few of these missions, like it barely feels like time is passing at all. Again, it's a little bit different out here."
So how long does 3 weeks takes out here?
Oh, it's still going to be 3 weeks. It's just, I guarantee it's going to feel different. However,
thank you. Appreciate that.
Anyone up for a game of cards?
Jam will play with him.
Oh yeah.
3-stud poker.
So then the folks were downstairs, March, and Lev, you can hear them kind of climbing down that ladder and into the, this crew area that that's been set up here. The table only has a couple of chairs in front of it, and you see Mulligan go to like a small supply closet and just pull out these like little discs from there. And he kind of, walks over next to the table, like plops them on the ground, like gives them a tap, and then they just kind of unfold like those cups that kind of like accordion out and be like from like a flat thing, and they turn into like makeshift bar stools. And you kind of see him like adjust a little thing to kind of tighten them and make sure that they're fit for seating, and then puts enough around the table for everyone to fit. The table's kind of small, but you should be able to play a game of cards or two or many on here to pass the time. As this is everyone's first long journey in the Astral Sea, I'm going to do some things and roll some stuff over here to kind of just see if there's any things that may happen on the way to your mission.
Safe journey.
But I'm also genuinely curious how you would all spend your time and like how you would, I guess, experience this weird sensation of like not needing to sleep. You still need to have like restful time, like you still need to rest your mind and like do like non-activity, for a certain time to be able to rest. But like, I can imagine this might be a bit jarring for all of you who've never spent extended stays in the Astral Sea, with just kind of how like it just kind of your body just is not, it's not doing like you expect to get hungry at some point, but it never. At any point, you don't feel hungry at all. You don't feel thirsty, but like, you feel almost this instinctual like need to like want to do those things because it feels weird that you haven't. So like, how are you all experiencing this?
I would chime in that March has done this before, but not since he was very young. He is not originally from the flotilla, so he had to have gotten there somehow.
It's true. That's true.
But he was a kid, so...
You're an adult now,
yeah,
kind of dealing with this. So yeah, this might be a whole new experience or a re-experience for you. But yeah, so I'm just curious if anyone has any thoughts to share, any initial reactions to sort of this information or this sort of, especially as it's been explained to you.
I don't really need to sleep. I can do it for fun, I guess, but I really just need to like sit down and not do any strenuous activity for a couple hours. So it's kind of the not needing to eat thing is weird because I feel like Lev always wants to eat, and yet
it is a bit strange. I mean, I will say that if any of you were like a little peckish when you left, that feeling of slight peckishness is kind of always present, but it never gets worse.
It's just like, am I eating because I am bored?
During this time,
life.
Mulligan would be sharing stories with you of his time as a Navy pilot. He does still occasionally serve with the flotillas, like some of their ancillary vessels, but this is kind of his early retirement gig, because he's done quite a few missions at this point, and this is this work is just a good sort of settling down for him, like, because if things get dangerous, he's well equipped to get you guys out of danger, at least in his mind. But yeah, he just starts sharing some stories. He tells you kind of about 30 some odd years ago, this big war, right, had broken out between what is now the New Federation and the Crimson Imperium. And he was one of the pilots that had actually defected from during the Battle of Chalmers Borealis, and joined the flotilla as an independent operator, an independent faction, as he didn't want to be involved in these squabbles of over. He just didn't really he kind of lost that fervor, right? Because it just didn't feel like they were fighting. He's got his own reasons, right, for not wanting to fight. He doesn't necessarily get too into that, but does kind of talk about the war, which you guys were made aware of during your time, right, in the last 8 months, but. You've only heard what stories you've been exposed to. So, he's sharing war stories. He kind of pulls down like a small projector screen in this room too. And he's playing like movies and other things, like just finding ways to kind of entertain y'all. Cause he's done this a million times. So he's perfectly content with this journey, but he's trying to be mindful of the fact that y'all might need some entertainment to just pass the time. I'm not sure if any of you have any books or any other reading materials, but there is like a small bookshelf also in this common area where you might be able to do some light reading, things of that nature. So I'm just I'm just trying to fish for how you're occupying your time so I can establish this scene and roll some dice here while you're doing
Can I roll an investigation to make you make up a name for this ship and what kind of ship it is?
Well, it is a shuttle.
Yeah.
And
I want to know like
say-
the specifics. Like, not, you don't have to tell them to me, but like Choom is going to be aware of the specifics.
I mean, this is obvious. This is very much just it's intended for either short journeys or and sometimes shuttles are used for more, I guess, like subtle work. For more like because like it's been known at times where like shuttles will be put into operation for like espionage missions and things like that because they are such low profile and non-threatening type ships. Like this does not, like, as far as you you didn't see any weapons affixed to this shuttle. So this is very much like a it is for all intents and purposes looks like a civilian craft.
With my background and obsession with ships, would I know like make model?
You're gonna make me make this up right now?
I did ask it. I can roll for that.
Sure, fine.
All right, and because of my background, I get advantage on investigation rules for ships.
Yeah, it's an Astrodyne Puma MK2.
Hell yeah, Astrodyne Puma. I'm gonna spend the 3 weeks in its guts.
Mark II. Don't forget the Mark II.
Mark II. Thank you, Lev. Always leaving out the specifics. I am.
I mean, when you say in the guts, I need you to explain further. Are you trying to get into the, I guess, more inaccessible areas of this craft?
Oh yeah. I want to see its engine. I want to see its output. I want all the little pieces.
Lovely. I would first. I need you to make me a stealth roll.
Tiny monkey stealth roll. That will be a 14. Dirty.
14. Okay. A lot of the mechanics of the ship are kind of accessed through some small service panels and things like that, both underneath the floor of the first, like that crew space, as well as sometimes some panels in the walls that have like some of the electrical or other components that are all wired in. But some of the other maintenance may need to be done, work maybe done outside of the ship, right? So you can't get to every nook and cranny or every component. But you're able to slip into one of the areas down below, maybe at a time where Mulligan is just kind of checking some of the systems upstairs and not in conversation or engaging with y'all on this journey. But what you failed to know was that once you've lifted that panel up, there is a small alert, not like an alarm, but there is like a beeping sound kind of going through the ship. As this seems to be some sort of automated like system to kind of note that there's maybe like some tampering or some maintenance is happening, and you kind of just hear through the intercom, "Hey, is everything is everything okay down there? I'm just getting an alert that there's a panel loose. I get that checked out. Do I need to come down there? Can someone just confirm? The intercom's just on the right there. Just push the button. You should see it. Just one button."
Is there anybody near because I'm already in, right? Like
I'll let someone else do that. I mean,
yeah.
y'all may or may not have seen Choom do this, but you know that Choom is missing.
Jam is sitting literally next to the intercom, reading a comic book, and does nothing. No response the first time is prompted.
Glorp is sitting across the room, reading their tablet.
It's going to be so I'm actually going to say something interesting because you're on your tablet. You have no like GalNet connection, right? You have no connection to the local network of Flotilla or any like wide area networks out here in the sea. So any information, anything that you're trying to do would be local to the tablet. So any local notes you may have stored or anything like that. I just want to clarify.
That's fine. I have some some textbooks and that some my teacher notes are on there. Yeah. So I'm just I'm currently reading through Astral Sea 101 or Introduction to the Astral Sea, a text.
Observations of the Astral Sea.
Yes, and I see that Jam does not answer the intercom. So how is this thing more than 10 feet wide?
Yes. I wouldn't say much more. It's about 25 feet wide all told, as far as like actual living space.
Okay, let's say I'm 10 feet away from the intercom. So I use my pseudopod to just like stretch across from where I am, and like
okay.
poke the intercom button. And without actually looking up from my tablet, say,
No, I don't see any loose panels.
All right. Well, I'll be down there in a few moments
beautiful
just to give
being.
everything a quick once over. So just checking a few things up here. But as long as everything's okay, I'll be down in about 5 minutes.
Choom, you hear this?
I'm scurrying as far away from this as I can.
You replace the panel?
Yeah. I'd pull it back over where I was. But I'm staying in.
But you're staying in. Okay,
gonna
as soon as
scurry
you
away.
reset the panel, the alarm stops.
Does he come back on the intercom?
He said,
Oh, it seems like it's all clear now. Thanks for checking.
Nice.
Must be. I'm gonna have to check these sensors though. I'm still gonna come down and check it out in a few minutes. But just working on some things up here. Thanks.
And this is how
Just hear
Choom
the
gets
intercom
stuck
click.
in the fucking shit for 3 weeks. You guys
Choom.
open the panel and find me 3 weeks later.
Choom, down here, right, there's like a small, for a normal-sized person, right, they'd have to be essentially crawling a little bit through here, right? This is not a very comfortable space for most, but you're able to stand upright, right, and have some clearance above you while you're kind of in this little, like, maintenance, like, I don't know. I hate to call it a tunnel. It's not really a tunnel. It's just kind of this like,
Shaft.
little shaft, right? That's underneath the floors. There's not a lot of places to go. It's a tangle of like different hoses and wires. But like these are all. But like you see a lot of these hoses are coursing with like magical energy. Like you can feel it, right? Like especially being someone now who's been a little bit who's been exposed to some things more of a magical nature, right? You can just kind of almost get this feeling of this latent energy, kind of radiating off of these pipes. These are all the things that kind of keep these ships operational, right? It's a lot of like energy recycling and a lot of like, especially when you're in the astral sea, it's actually taking it's an intake too. It's taking in some of the latent energies within this plane and then projecting that out as energy to propel the ship at incredible speeds. Nothing for you to necessarily, nothing like no panels or like things like that for you to fuck with in here. A lot of those are
not
gonna be the walls.
Yeah, he's not gonna fuck with anything. He's just gonna be like mapping it. Like in his head,
Yeah.
he's gonna like learn what he can.
It does feel. You do kind of get a sense that this, while this ship has definitely seen better days. Like it's probably been in service for a while, but it is remarkably well kept. Like a lot of the hoses, cables, and things like that are like zip tied and organized, and like everything. It's when I say it's a mess, it's not like it's just everything's kind of hanging all over the place. It's just that there's just so much running through here, right? But it does look well maintained. It's just old. It looks old.
Of course. A lovely employee.
And after a few minutes, though, you do hear some like clanking of boots on the ladder that's coming down.
Gonna make me roll another stealth, or am I just caught?
Well, no, you're down. The floor panel's been reset. You can't be seen.
Perfect.
And you see. You see Mulligan come back down. Oh, hello. I'm just going to check a couple of things. And you see him go over to like a small, like panel, like a computer panel in the room. And, you see him like typing some stuff on this like wall screen and, like running some diagnostics. You can see like a little floor plan kind of appear on there. And it does highlight like a panel. Like one of them starts like kind of like blinking red, right? And this display is like, yeah, that must be where the sensor tripped. Let me just take a look. And you hear footsteps above you, Choom, as he walks over and kind of pulls the panel back, and the alarm kind of starts going off again. Nope, yeah, this is the one, but it seems fine. And he kind of pokes his head like down and looks around. And he kind of sees you just hunched over in there. What are you doing down there?
Can a guy get some privacy? Jeez.
Get out of the internals of my ship. I didn't say it was cool to go down here. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is for you to be down here?
Wait, hold on. This isn't the suite for the small abled? The ship isn't up to code on the small abled?
There are plenty of comfortable places for you to hang out that aren't in the internals of the ship. Please.
All right, I'll get caught. That's fine.
I'll get caught, he says, as if he had a choice.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he helps you out of there and he resets the panel. He's like, okay, don't do that again. I don't really appreciate that.
Sorry.
That's very rude. I
Sorry.
just, it's not your ship.
Yep.
If you just had any questions about how things work, or if you wanted to look at something, you could just ask me. Don't be snooping around.
Sorry.
Okay.
I give him like the cutesy eyes.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he forgives you, no more incident there. I did roll some percentile dice. I will say that this journey is, at least right now, very peaceful.
Yes.
And without incident, although with some time and some, just a lot of you kind of still kind of getting accustomed to the fact that the astral sea kind of operates a bit differently. You kind of, one day you wake up and you hear an announcement from Mulligan saying, "Okay, we are approaching the system. If you wouldn't mind strapping back in, and don't forget to hydrate."
So, I do want to get into what March has been doing for all of this, because he's been
tell me.
taking advantage of two specific environmental factors: that he doesn't need to sleep, and that he cannot connect to the wider internets in any single way. He's got a luggable computer that he pulled out of his backpack, and he's basically been on that
Like a small
the whole
laptop,
time.
like a 13-inch laptop or something like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. It's more like a box that the keyboard kind of pulls out of, like
Got it.
a
Okay.
older luggable kind of looking thing, like a Dolce or something. But
Yeah.
he's
Was there anything in particular you were doing with that?
yes, he's got it wired into his focus glove, which is on top, and also the data chip that he was trying to read earlier.
Yes. So you're plugging that into this machine?
Yeah, we're doing more cursory kind of pokes at it. Like, I'm not plugged into the full interface, just trying to do a little bit of looking at it.
Some general
and,
diagnostics.
Yeah, and try to look in on that stuff from the glove a little bit more.
That
too.
sounds great.
But would only be doing this while we are in astral space. Once I even think we're going back into wild space, we disconnect the whole thing and tear it down.
So what I'll do is then, like, before this announcement is made, right? Then I will say that you were doing some fiddling. I mean, many days have gone by. You've been poking, prodding, trying to do some things. I would like for you to make me just a computer's check, if you don't mind.
Right. 6. Nat 1.
Oh, fuck.
So a
We
7.
almost made it. Bro.
Delicious.
We had one that just kind of skated by.
Oh no, this is exactly the spot to have it too.
Yeah.
So you've been getting a little bit bold in recent days, like towards the tail end of this trip. And today, that it's going to be arrival day, either today or tomorrow or whatever, right? Like, it's coming up soon, but you just had to try this last thing. And your portable computing device, lets out a shower of sparks. And just and it just shorts out. Right, and ejects the chip, or the device, the drive. However, your glove also begins to starts is also sparking. You feel like you should be getting electrocuted right now, but it just seems to be kind of contained to the glove itself. Like just these bolts. These bolts are just arcing between different sections of your glove, and you hear for a moment this voice in your mind just scream, Project Q.
Ow.
And that's where we're going to leave this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Perfect.
Thank you all for listening, everybody. If you like us, if you hate me for all the cliffhangers that I constantly subject you to, either way, you can find us on the internet and find a place to yell at me about those things. We have a link tree, which all of our links to our relevant social media things are contained in. It's just linkter.ee/haplessheroes. It's got links to whatever social media we choose to engage upon, which I'll be honest with you is not a ton of it all the time. However, the crown jewel variant of presence and the social media that we choose to use most of the time is our chat server. That is our Discord server, where you can find all of the cast hanging out, talking to different people, having all kinds of conversations about the show, about D&D, about like movies and television, or whatever other conversations and things we can drum up in our various discussion channels. We would encourage you to join that community, be a part of it. We were constantly doing different things to like engage with our audience there as well, like listening parties and et cetera. There's no cost to join. There's no really barrier to entry besides having a Discord account and not being a bot. So hop on in, come say hi, and just again join this growing community of like-minded nerds. They're all super cool. And if you really, really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. All of those are incredibly helpful. I mean, I don't know how algorithms work these days, but I just know that the more positive things people have to say and the more reviews or ratings we get, like the more we appear in other people's like relevant searches or people who are interested in this sort of thing. And we just want to bring more people to listen to the show. And that's an easy way for you to be able to show your support. And hey, if we see the kind words you write about us on a podcast service that allows you to leave a review, or if you go to our Discord server in the 5-star channel there and leave us a review or some kind words, we'll read it on the air. We'll acknowledge you for the 5-star human that you are. It's a great little thing that we do. It's just, we would encourage you to do so. It's the wind in our sails when we get to read all those nice things you say. But if you really, really, really like us, we have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes, where we have a variety of rewards, but all of that is available really for just the price of a cup of coffee every month. We have bloopers, behind the scenes audio, different show, like short form show ideas we've been trialing out, potentially, it's lore corner that Dave and I have been workshopping, and whatever other ideas we come up with, to kind of give a little extra content back to all of you who've chosen to support us financially. It helps us keep the lights on, helps us replace equipment. And so the least we could do is just give you more content to consume as a way to say thank you for that. So it's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. Check it out and see if it's right for you. That being said, that's my spiel. That's all my stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and outro my cast in the opposite order I introduced them, starting in my virtual right with Nicole as Glorp Glub Glub.
I only left 3 days of lesson plans.
John as Jam Jam.
Until next time.
Mike as Brunner Brew Blitzborer.
This has been already an amazing adventure.
Lewis as Lev Zangief.
Is there any milk on this ship?
Bastion as Chum Daloom.
I was only looking, I swear.
Dave as March.
No. I gotta see if the magic black smoke escaped.
Again, I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. We will see you next week as we arrive at our target destination. Ooh, what mysteries wait for us there. Project Q! Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.